The driver behind it is Canada-US, of which there's a huge amount of trade. It's the world's biggest trading relationship. And in fact, the Canada-US Free Trade Agreement and NAFTA basically came and put some rules to govern the existing trade. So let's just take one industry. 1/3 of all US-Canadian trade is in the automobile industry and supplies and parts. So that one sector is intensely integrated across the border, Michigan-Ontario border, Windsor-Detroit. There's to and fro supplies, just-in-time supplies, and so on. And that goes back about 50 years now. Back in the 1960s, Canada-US agreed on a thing called the Auto Pact, which was a managed trade agreement. That was incorporated into NAFTA. So then you look at what other business there is. At the moment, US benefits tremendously from having access to secure supplies of energy from Canada. Under NAFTA, if Canadians have signed an agreement to supply oil from the Alberta oil fields or the tar sands, they have to complete the contract. They just can't cut it off. So Canada is the most secure supplier of US oil. It supplies about half of all the imported oil. Canada supplies more oil to the United States than all of the Persian Gulf countries. So add up Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, all these countries. Actually, US gets more oil from Canada, and that's secured under NAFTA. In return, Canadian businesses get secure access to the US market for their products. So it's very much of a trade agreement. Canadian Environmental Minister, Sheila Copps at the time, member of the Liberal government, banned MMT. Under NAFTA, because this was a trade-related issue, because this was a US business operating in Canada, the US business had the right to sue the Canadian government for compensation. So that case went forward. And that was in fact the first case. NAFTA only gives free trade to manufacturing sectors and certain designated sectors. Because of Florida farmers and their lobby, a lot of fresh fruit from Mexico can't get into the United States. Like one of the cases we looked at dealt with mangoes made in Mexico. So it was decided that there had to be inspections of the mangoes from Mexico because they might have some insect in them. And if this insect came into the United States, it could jump out and infect all the mangoes in Florida. So to stop that, US required that all the mangoes coming from Mexico be fried to kill the insect. So this destroyed Mexico's market for fresh fruit in the United States.